The docking bay of Orbital Station Echelon 9 had never been so silent. Hundreds of diplomats, officers, and scientists from 27 species stood in rigid rows beneath the gleaming steel arches. Artificial gravity hummed softly, the only sound in a space usually filled with the echo of cargo drones and the chatter of traders. Today, no one dared to speak. Even breathing felt like a risk. A vessel unlike any in human records hovered outside the observation viewport. Its hull shimmered like liquid crystal, refracting starlight into slow-moving colors that slid across the walls of the bay. It was alive, or at least appeared to be. No rivets, no seams, no obvious propulsion. It simply existed, serene and impossible. Lieutenant Mara Vance stood near the front, her uniform stiff with formality. She was not supposed to be here. She was a systems engineer, not a diplomat. But she had been summoned personally by Admiral Rourke that morning and told only, "You need to witness this." The docking clamps extended. An airlock formed seamlessly from the alien vessel's hull, blooming outward like a metallic flower. A ramp descended. And then they arrived. Tall figures glided down the ramp, 4 of them, each over 7 feet, slender and luminous. Their skin was smooth, like polished pearl. Their eyes were wide and star-specked, as if galaxies lived within. Flowing garments trailed behind them, shifting color with every step. Whispers rippled through the crowd. "The Aurelian Court," someone murmured. "Royal delegation." Mara had read about them. Everyone had. The Aurelians were the oldest known civilization in the spiral arm, rumored to have shaped planets before humans discovered fire. They rarely appeared in person. When they did, entire governments shifted policy overnight. At the center of the 4 stood a figure whose presence made the others seem like attendants. She was smaller than the rest, but carried an unmistakable authority. A circlet of living light hovered above her head like a halo. Her gown shimmered gold and violet. Princess Elithra of Aurelia. She stepped forward. Behind her, diplomatic envoys prepared to begin rehearsed greetings, their translation implants humming. But before anyone could speak, Princess Elithra stopped. Her radiant gaze moved across the crowd, passing over generals, ambassadors, scientists, and landed on Mara. The human engineer froze. She hadn't done anything. She wasn't important. She wasn't supposed to be here. Yet the princess's eyes locked onto hers with certainty. And then, to the shock of everyone present, Princess Elithra bowed. Not a polite incline. Not a ceremonial nod. A full, deep bow of reverence. Gasps rippled across the bay. Human soldiers stiffened, unsure whether to salute. Alien delegates flickered in alarmed color changes. Even the Aurelians behind her shifted uneasily. Elithra held the bow for 3 long seconds. Then she rose and spoke. Her voice was musical, echoing inside every mind through telepathic translation. "At last," she said, "the signal-bearer stands before us." All eyes turned toward Mara. Mara swallowed. I think you've mistaken me for someone else," she stammered. Princess Elithra stepped forward again, this time closing the distance between them. A shimmering guard started to move, but Elithra lifted a hand, stopping them. "I do not err," the princess said softly. "You are Mara Vance, born on Earth, systems engineer, survivor of the Kepler 89 incident." Mara's blood ran cold. The Kepler 89 incident was classified. Only 6 people knew the full story. "How do you?" Elithra raised a hand. "Please, walk with me." The truth should not be spoken in the presence of crowds. Admiral Rourke hesitated, then nodded reluctantly. "Lieutenant, you will accompany Her Highness." Mara's legs moved before her mind agreed. She followed the princess into a side corridor formed by shifting walls of light. The Aurelians created a privacy field, sealing sound and observation away from the rest of the station. Now they stood alone, human and alien royalty. Elithra regarded Mara with an expression that was almost sorrowful. "Do you remember," the princess asked, "the moment your ship's reactor failed near Kepler 89? Mara's breath caught. She remembered. She had been floating in escaped debris. Oxygen low, comms dead. She remembered the impossible flash of light, the sense of falling through stars, and then waking in a rescue pod with no explanation. "I thought I hallucinated," Mara whispered. "I saw something. A being of light. I assumed it was shock." Princess Elithra inclined her head. "That was me." Mara stared. "That's impossible. You were light years away." "Yes," Elithra said. "And no." Mara's confusion twisted into frustration. "Princess, with respect, I don't understand. Why bow to me? Why come here? I'm nobody." Elithra stepped closer. Her eyes shimmered like deep space. "You are not nobody," she said. "You are the first human to survive contact with the veil." Mara blinked. "The veil?" "The space between dimensions," Elithra explained. "Where time folds. Where reality fractures. No mortal species has ever passed through it without dissolution. But you did. You lived. And in doing so, you changed the balance of existence." Mara shook her head slowly. "I don't feel changed." "That is because you were unaware," Elithra replied. "But your survival awakened something dormant in humanity. A resonance. A signal. We detected it across galaxies." Mara laughed weakly. "You're saying I'm a cosmic beacon?" "Yes," Elithra said simply. Silence settled. Mara leaned against the wall, trying to breathe. "So why bow to me?" "Because in our laws," Elithra said, "one who opens the path between realms is honored as a gate-bearer. A sacred role. One we believed would never belong to a human." Mara's voice trembled. "I didn't ask for that." Elithra's gaze softened. "No, you did not. And that is why I bow. Not out of worship. Out of apology." Mara frowned. "Apology." Elithra turned away, her gown trailing light. "Long ago, Aurelius sealed the veil. We feared what lay beyond. But in doing so, we trapped something on the other side. A consciousness older than galaxies. It seeks return." Mara swallowed. "And my survival opened a door." "Yes," Elithra said quietly. "A crack. Small. But enough." Mara's mind reeled. "So you're here because we need your help to close it again," Elithra said. "Before what waits beyond crosses through." A low vibration rolled through the corridor. Lights flickered. Mara's heart pounded. "Is that happening now?" Elithra's expression tightened. "Soon." They returned to the docking bay. The delegates waited anxiously. Energy hummed through the station like a rising storm. Admiral Rourke rushed forward. "Lieutenant, report." Mara opened her mouth, but Elithra raised a hand and addressed the assembly instead. "Beings of the Galactic Accord," the princess declared. "The veil trembles. A breach approaches. Only the gate-bearer can seal it." Confusion erupted. Voices rose. Translators struggled to keep pace. What breach? What threat? This is unprecedented. Elithra turned to Mara and extended a glowing hand. "Will you walk the path once more?" the princess asked. "Will you face the veil again?" Mara's pulse roared in her ears. She was an engineer. She fixed broken systems. She was not a hero, not a chosen one. Yet she remembered the endless dark, the whisper beyond reality. the sense that something had noticed her. She looked at the gathered species, so many fragile lives bound together in shared survival. And she understood. If I refuse? Mara asked quietly. Elithra's eyes dimmed. Then we prepare for war against something we cannot fight. Mara exhaled. Okay, she said. I'll do it. A wave of astonishment spread through the crowd. Elithra bowed again, this time lower than before. Then know this, the princess said. You will not be alone. I will walk beside you. The Aurelian ship opened again. Mara stepped onto the ramp, heart hammering. As they ascended, Admiral Rourke called after her, voice cracking. Lieutenant Vance, good luck. Inside the alien vessel, the walls pulsed with living light. Elithra guided Mara to a chamber shaped like a hollow sphere. Stars drifted across the ceiling. The floor felt warm beneath her boots. The veil awaits, Elithra said. The chamber darkened. A vertical tear of silver-black space formed before them, shimmering like oil on water. Mara's skin prickled. She felt the pull of it. Recognition. You've been here before, Elithra whispered. Mara nodded slowly, and then she stepped forward. The universe vanished. Time had no meaning here. Memories flashed. Stars formed and died in blinks. Voices whispered from everywhere and nowhere. Something vast stirred. A presence. Mara stood firm, heart racing. I'm here, she said. The darkness rippled. Tendrils of shadow stretched toward her. Elithra's voice echoed in Mara's mind. You are the gate-bearer. Speak the closure. I don't know the words, Mara shouted. Then speak from will, Elithra replied. Declare the boundary. Mara clenched her fists. This universe is not yours, she said into the void. You will not cross. Not now. Not ever. The darkness shrieked without sound. The veil rippled violently. Mara felt her mind strain, like holding shut a door against a hurricane. Then Elithra joined her, luminous and fierce beside her. Their wills combined. Light met shadow. With a thunderless explosion, the tear sealed. Darkness collapsed inward, folding upon itself, vanishing. Mara fell to her knees. The chamber reappeared. The alien ship hummed peacefully. Elithra knelt beside her. It is done, the princess said. Mara breathed shakily. Is it over? For now, Elithra replied. The veil is sealed. The breach closed. They returned to the docking bay. Every being present watched in awe as Mara descended the ramp beside the princess. This time, it was Mara who bowed, awkwardly, respectfully, to Elithra. But Elithra stopped her gently. No, the princess said. You bow to no one. Today, the galaxy owes you its future. Mara looked up at the crowd, at humanity, at the stars beyond. She was still an engineer, still a person who fixed broken things. Only now, she had fixed something far greater than a machine. And somewhere, in the quiet between galaxies, the veil slept once more. For now. The cheering in the docking bay lasted long after the Aurelian ship had sealed its ramp. Delegates spoke in urgent clusters, military officers transmitted reports to distant fleets, and scientists scrambled to record every trace of residual veil energy. Yet through it all, Mara felt oddly detached, as if she were still half inside that impossible silver-dark space. Admiral Rourke approached her slowly, as though afraid she might vanish if startled. You saved us, he said simply. Mara shook her head. I didn't do it alone. Rourke glanced toward the Aurelian vessel. Still, history will remember your name. Mara almost laughed. History. She had joined the fleet to pay for school. Before she could reply, light spilled from the Aurelian ship once more. Princess Elithra emerged alone this time, her gown glowing softly against the steel walls of the station. The crowd instinctively parted for her. She walked directly to Mara and stopped at arm's length. For the third time that day, the alien princess bowed. But this time, it was different. Not ceremonial. Not apologetic. Grateful. "My people will sing of you," Elithra said. "Not as a savior. Not as a ruler. But as proof that even the youngest species can stand where the ancients once feared to tread." Mara swallowed. "So, that's it? I go back to fixing wiring panels." Elithra's lips curved in the faintest smile. "If that is what you wish." "I wish," Mara said carefully, "to never see the veil again." Elithra's eyes softened. "That wish I promise to honor." They stood in silence a moment longer. Then Elithra turned, her attendants appearing as if summoned by thought alone. The Aurelian delegation ascended the ramp. The living ship sealed, light rippling across its hull. Slowly, it lifted away from the station and vanished into folded space. Only then did Mara realize her hands were shaking. Days later, orbital station Echelon 9 returned to its usual noise, commerce, patrol rotations, laughter in the mess halls. News channels argued about politics again. Life continued. Mara returned to her post in the engineering decks. She tightened bolts, reran diagnostics, fixed a coolant leak in a recalcitrant plasma conduit. Ordinary work, familiar work, comforting. Yet sometimes, in the quiet between system checks, she thought she felt it, a faint vibration beneath reality. Like a door far away, gently tested by something patient and ancient. But the door held. For now. And somewhere among the stars, an alien princess kept her promise, standing eternal watch over the sealed veil, remembering the human who taught the galaxy that courage could come from anyone, even a quiet engineer who never asked to be chosen.